I've never been so scared in my life. It was black. I couldn't see him. And he was looking at me, and I was trying to get through to him. I was trying to say to him in some way that it was me. I was trying to get through to Johnny, and I couldn't see him. I couldn't see him at all. And my head was bashing against the back of the bar, and I couldn't breathe. And I remember trying to get up, and I was slipping on the glass. My feet were slipping. My arms were slipping on the countertops. And I remember just trying to get up so I could breathe, so I could tell him that he was really hurting me. I didn't think he knew what he was doing. I don't know how. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I couldn't breathe.
You got to get a tear out. No tears. No tears.
I don't know. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I couldn't.
You're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
But you texted Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay. So you sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
The next article, also from May 10th, 2017, a year and a half before the op-ed was published, says Johnny Depp reportedly drank heavily and was constantly late on the new Pirates movie set. Did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
The next
These are
article,
all hit
also
pieces.
from May
These
10th,
are drags,
2017.
sir.
Mr.
This
Depp,
is a pathetic attempt.
Mr. Depp, please just respond to the question that I'm asking you.
What's your
The
question,
next question,
Mr. Rottenborn?
the next document, an article published in Vanity Fair on May 10th, 2017,
Yes, sir.
is entitled Johnny Depp's Financial Woes Might Sink the Next Pirates of the Caribbean. Did I read that right?
You did. I don't know
The
how
next
my
article,
financial woes would do
May
that.
25th, 2017, a year and a half before the op-ed was published, an article entitled Where Did It All Go Wrong for Johnny Depp? After a string of flops and a ton of bad press, Johnny Depp's star power looks as wobbly as Jack Sparrow on a plank. Did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter, May 27th, 2017. Headline, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Diminishing Returns of Johnny Depp. Did I read that right?
You certainly did. Hollywood Reporter were very nice to me at the time.
July 12th, 2017. Why are all of Johnny Depp's movies bombing at the box office? Did I read that right?
You certainly did.
November 4th, 2017. A year and a month before Amber published the op-ed. Headline, Johnny Depp allegedly showed up drunk to movie premiere, reports say. Did I read that
Allegedly,
correctly?
reports say. This is hearsay. is
June
it not?
21st, 2018,
word.
6 months before the op-ed was published. Vanity Fair article, The Real Reason Johnny Depp Used an Earpiece on a Film Set.
I think that was
I
explained
read
in
that
court
correctly?
the other day. Oh, you did, yeah.
June 21st, 2018, 6 months before the op-ed was published. A Rolling Stone article entitled The Trouble with Johnny Depp. Multi-million-dollar lawsuits, a haze of booze and hash, a marriage gone very wrong, and a lifestyle he can't afford inside the trials of Johnny Depp. Did I read that right?
You did. You should read the article. It's
And the
wonderful.
last one, June 22nd, 2018, the Daily Mail, vodka for breakfast, 72-hour drug binges, and spending sprees that beggar belief. Alison Boshoff reveals why Hollywood's reeling over what's being called Johnny Depp's career suicide note. Did I read that correctly?
You did. Who's Alison Boshoff and how does she know?
Mr. Depp, you can't name
Oh, it
a
won't
single
answer, let me see.
actress.
Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his
Well,
fingers.
objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Oh,
Next question.
okay. He said he sustained an injury to his finger,
Yes.
but you don't know what caused.
So the question that was asked was because you brought muffins, you said, from your husband, right? You gave those to Ms. Heard, correct?
May I clarify what occurred so that we can stop talking about the muffins? What happened was that I was getting ready that morning. I frequently bring muffins to the office. My husband did happen to know that there was going to be a celebrity client coming in because on the mornings that occurs, which often occurs, we have to actually clear the office and move the staff to the other office. So yes, on the one hand, he was aware of that. I was getting ready. I asked him to go to the bakery near our house and pick up the muffins for me because I was running late. He often has to do that because I often do run late. He brought the muffins back to the house. I brought them into the office. Ms. Heard and I enjoyed the muffins together. I think I made a comment to her along the lines like, we can thank my husband. My husband got these for us today, meaning he purchased the muffins. We are now enjoying them because of him.
Did you say on... You were, in fact, so excited about being involved in this case that you told your husband, even though this was a highly confidential matter, that you were going to be conducting the examination of Ms. Heard, didn't you?
That is not accurate.
You not only told your husband, but you told Ms. Heard that you told your husband, correct?
Ms. Bredehoff, that is not accurate.
What is accurate?
You're incorrect. That is not correct.
Is your testimony today under oath that you did not tell your husband that you were going to be conducting the examination of Amber?
That is my testimony.
Okay.
I did reference Ms. Pennington's deposition that Ms. Heard struck Ms. Pennington in the face.
In
Yes.
fact, Ms. Pennington testified that she hit Ms. Heard, and in response to that, she can't recall, but Ms. Heard either pushed or slapped her, correct?
I don't recall.
That's a pretty important distinction, don't you think?
My recollection is that there was some sort of violence both ways in the relationship. Either way, it seemed that both of them might have been unstable.
Now
I'm only evaluating Ms. Heard.
So now we have an evaluation of Rocky Pennington?
No, I just said, but that was not relevant to my opinion because I'm only evaluating Ms. Heard.
But you testified to that on direct that was a factor, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you said, and I'll read it, I'll quote it, quote, based on the combined results of my interview with Ms. Heard, behavioral observations, psychometric test data, and review of the available records, Ms. Heard demonstrates psychological symptoms of a combined borderline and histrionic personality disorder, BHPD. That's
Yes.
what you wrote in your report as one of your conclusions, correct?
And that's a DSM-5 diagnosis.
And it did not say that you were diagnosing with a DSM-5 for borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder, did it?
That's what it says in different semantics.
Bond.
Sir, please try to stick to the question that I'm asking you. You've had your chance to go well beyond the question being asked, but if you could just please stick to the question I'm asking you, it would go a lot faster.
That and I
Dr.
discussed
Crew,
that with the attorneys.
I'm asking you a question. I'd like you to try to answer my
Okay.
question. You understand.
Was cut off, or essentially what I said then was, no,
Dr.
that's not
Curry,
the task of Dash. That was never my task to determine. Can I say what that means?
No, and then the question is, so is it fair to say that you have never arrived at an...
Well, there was an objection.
All right, I'll read it for you if you're having difficulty.
No,
Your answer was under oath, correct. That is not my opinion. That has never been my opinion. Isn't that what
Correct.
you said under
Yes.
oath?
Yeah.
And at the same time,
you answer my
I would
question, sir. In
charge-
fact, you charge $710 an hour for your time, don't you?
Counsel, if you'll let me complete my answer, I'll
No,
be happy to respond.
Sir, please try to stick to the question that I'm asking you. You've had your chance to go well beyond the question being asked, but if you could just please stick to the question I'm asking you, it would go a lot.
Mouth, because he would have, if I would have been making those noises in the bathroom, he would have ripped the hinges off.
Maybe they left his mouth when you were passed out, sir, respectfully. Let's listen to this one more time.
I don't
I'll
think he was.
sustain
Yeah,
his
move to
argument.
strike.
I'll sustain his argumentative, and I'll move to strike, all right?
Is a tool that's going to show you during a time frame the highest point of search interest as 100.
Okay. But you don't know if it's humans, bots, my cat doing the searches, correct?
Objection.
In between Miss Heard and Mr. Depp. So she definitely wasn't standing in between them.
Well, in fact, you saw Mr. Depp push or shove Whitney Heard, correct?
Absolutely not.
And it was only after Mr. Depp pushed Whitney that Amber stepped forward and punched him in the face. Isn't that right?
That is not correct.
Was Mr. Depp to play in Pirate 6?
Objection calls for speculation
I'll allow it.
and hearsay.
I'll allow it.
Captain Jack Sparrow. Was the $22.5 million to be paid to Mr. Depp by Disney?
Your future is on display. Best of luck.
Best if luck.
Thank you for the correction. Best if luck.
You're welcome.
And thanks.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. I was drinking.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
It's my question to you, sir.
I doubled up
With
the,
respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that
500?
500, Defense Exhibit 500.
Defense Exhibit 500.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
Dr. Curry, in answering that question, were you consulting anything?
Dr. Hughes.
Dr. Hughes, I'm so sorry. Dr. Hughes, were you consulting anything? Dr. Curry, if you, I mean, Dr. Hughes, I don't know why I keep doing that. My apologies. My apologies. Dr. Hughes.
So I administered.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
She can refresh her recollection.
As long as she's not reading it.
Right. You just can't read. That you're not supposed to read from it, but you can refresh your recollection as you're speaking.
So I can look and just look up, and that's refreshing my recollection? Okay.
All right, if we could approach for a moment. Okay. All right, Dr. Hughes, since you're still in the middle of your testimony, please don't discuss your testimony with anybody, including the attorneys, okay? And anything that you looked at, referenced during your direct examination, if you could just turn that over so they can review that before cross-examination, okay? All right, thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I just, I presume she wants to be able to take that back with her.
We can get copies of it. We'll get whatever it is.
Okay, good.
We'll make sure you get copies of it, so make sure you get copies of it so she can keep her originals. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right?
I have copies of everything that I looked at. Other than
Okay,
my
well, no, we're not talking right now. Court's in
Other
session.
than my
Thank you.
post-it note that
All
I
right. So anything else then? So we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m., correct? All right, thank you.
The second, and this is reflected.
Your
in the
Honor, if I could
transcript.
finish my argument, I mean, I would
understand.
appreciate.
I can't wait to oppose this.
I
anyway,
know,
so.
that's fine. Go ahead, go ahead.
That,
Go ahead,
so,
sir.
and again,
Sat there thinking, how much time do I have till I figure out what I need to do? Because, God, did he just hit me? No, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality. I didn't want to have the man I was in love with. I know you don't come back from that. You know, I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone. You can't just hit somebody because I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I had to leave him. And that's what broke my heart, because I didn't want to leave him. I thought if I got up out of that room, I'd leave the best thing that ever happened to me. And I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself. But I was just looking at the dirty carpet trying to will myself to get up. I just stood there. While he did that, he twisted his fingers around. I didn't say, like, stop or anything.
And I noticed he was drinking Beck's and tea, but like lots of tea. I just, thought the man really, seriously, I missed it before, but really, really loves tea. My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet and went on with our, big
Text messages from Mr. Depp to you. Do you recall these?
Yes, I do.
And are these the text messages?
Yes, that's what he was sending me while I was taking care of his daughter.
We'll get it to you. How about that?
Oh, joy. Okay. All right. Three, we're going to go with claims 380 right now, okay? Try to keep the record clear. 380A and 234. Okay, go ahead.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll allow it. Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Correct, I was trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, yes.
And Mr. Depp was refusing to leave the house, was he not?
Not so much refused, he just wanted 2 minutes to say his piece.
You took Mr. Depp's arm to try to move him out, but he broke away, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so he was strong enough to break away from your grip, correct?
No.
So you had his arm and he broke away, though, correct?
No.
Isn't that what you just said?
No, I let him go.
You let go. But he wasn't.
And there's sun in the Bahamas, right?
Most of the time.
Do you know what Amber wears for sunscreen? Correct?
Yes.
And they feel paranoid?
Yes.
And they feel frightened?
Yes.
Afraid that everyone's going to believe the perpetrator, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, they're afraid they're going to lose their security, correct?
Can you clarify what you mean by security?
I'll ask the next one. And they're afraid they're going to lose their reputation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about the testing for a moment. You talk.
Your Honor, no, first I'd ask you to instruct Mr. Chu not to shake his head and nod his head to the witness. That's inappropriate.
All right.
I'm not shaking.
Okay.
Well, he was.
All right. Well, I'll keep a lookout for that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Like, get fucked on set, get fucked with fucking James fucking Franco? Did you hear that?
I don't recall.
Did you hear him say at least you fucking liked it?
No.
Did you hear him say, I bet you slipped a tongue in there and you liked it?
No.
Did you hear him say, make references to Amber's pussy and asking her if her pussy was wet?
Your Honor, lack of foundation,
No.
harassment.
Did you hear any of that?
No, not that I recall.
Okay.
I'll overrule the objection. It's fine.
Thank
Next
you.
question.
Now, you shared an oxygen. He has punched her. He has kicked her. He tells her he's going to kill her. He hates her. He's pounding at her, pounding her. And then he penetrates her with a liquor bottle. That's the Johnny Depp that you're going to hear about in this.
It essentially came down to this. Do you have a drinking problem, Johnny?
Objection calls for hearsay.
I think it took me some time, actually, but after that, I eventually had to have sex a lot, which is just not like Johnny at all. And it was just like that. It was just, but I bargained with him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
And I felt like the luckiest woman in the world.
Objection, leading.
That, what if any?
If we approach, I was falling in love with them, and alcohol. I mean, his breath smelled so bad, and I just looked out of the window. Jerry Judge's security and my friend. I at some point pushed record on my phone because there was that 5% part of me.
Objection, non-responsive.